broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What a great song. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Reign After Show Season 2! Yes! Episode 3! We have Fahnia Thomas back, the Queen!
Hey guys, hey!
We have the peasant, JB Zimmernan! No crown on him.
He was the crown.
I was.
For those of you who listened to episode 3, which all of you should have, you know that Keaton will be out for a little bit. She's on a mission.
She's chasing that paper.
She's
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
You know, she's doing kingly things.
Queenly things.
Whatever.
She's making sure that the town has food and they're not in famine.
She's finding grain.
Grain, yeah.
She's getting grain for all of us. And I, of course, am Phil Svitek. And as promised, we will talk about some castles in our special segment today. It's a castle that is known to a lot of torture. So King Henry would have found it quite useful. Anyway.
I can't wait to hear about it because you
the
were gone.
research.
I know.
Good stuff.
I was there firsthand.
So.
Nice.
Let's start with Kenna and Bash. And I know Fahnia sighs already. It's the least important storyline, so I like to get those out of the way first.
Well, okay, I'll give you that, but then there's also your crush, passion, admiration, and all that for Miss Kenna that, you know, also underlining a little bit, maybe?
Yeah,
possibly?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm willing to admit that.
I mean, I don't blame you.
The fact, okay, I love the moment when they're finally just dancing, and it just gets interrupted. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she has to be a buzzkill. Just C-box him. Every time.
But at least, you know what, I like how they're seeing eye to eye, you know, and they're getting to know each other in that way, and the fact that Bash is really really come to grips with his new job.
Yes.
And he's very proud of it. And Kenna's proud of it too.
She is, but then there's that little ounce of superficiality that comes out with not having any gifts or any land. She's like, where's my chateau? You know, and he's the deputy now, so he should be getting gifts, and people will be spoiling them, but now it's just not the time, so it's kind of like you're waiting for Christmas Day, but you can't wait. So she falls into the trap of this lady who, she looks suspicious when they cut to her. And they were standing there, and all the girls were talking about what they're going to wear and how they're going to summer, and she just kept giving her the eye, and Kenna fell for it.
I mean, she's a bit materialistic, but she also legitimately loves Bash. I mean, that's why she was doing all that stuff, like trying to protect him, you know, thinking ahead, and really wanting to make sure that he's safe, which is, you know, admirable.
I feel like all these couples just need to get on a good
communication, people.
Yeah,
communication.
Because everyone has all the best intentions, but everyone just acts impulsively. And, you know, in this case, she burned the page.
Yeah, no, it's funny because all of this literally could be solved if they had cell phones. Just like text. Just where are you, Francis?
Done.
Just text him. Oh, I'm, you know, outside. I'll be back later.
Perhaps.
I like that she was sticking up for him and was dealing with her emotions as far as when the lady was like, I'll kill him if you don't keep my husband from going to jail. Because usually Kenna was more about herself, you know? But now I feel like after the whole, what was the little boy's name when she was motherly and instinctual with the Darkness's kid?
Yes.
Forgive me, guys.
He died in the plague.
Who died in the plague, yes.
Very
I just feel like Pascal.
Pascal.
After Pascal.
Yes.
That's why we need Keaton, because Keaton knows all the names and all the, like, extracurricular details. But after that, she became more nurturing. And so I like that she is sticking up for Bash. I like that they're in their groove now and it's about them. So I get that she can't be perfect all the time.
Also having a chateau and stuff like that, it just gives her something. It gives her something to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's cleaning the place or whatever. Well, I think she's just not in a spiteful, demeaning way.
Because it's women's work to clean the place.
You know what? It can be a guy's place too, but right now it's not accepted.
True, it's the times. Yeah, it's interesting because I want her to have like more of a reason to be involved. Like she really needs to have a role of her own, and I feel like some of the other characters do. And she's sort of, I mean, aside from the couple of Kenna and Bash, she doesn't really have a position or a storyline.
Yeah. I mean, she had a big storyline last season. Greer kind of has a storyline now, but we haven't seen
Lola
it in today's
with the
episode.
baby.
Yeah.
It's more so Lola right now of the ladies that has a current. Or
We know Mary's always going to have one.
Oh yes.
Is Barnard coming back? Right, because we've kind of handled it a little bit in the sense that he's going to be innocent, so Bash gets to stay alive. But are we going to see more of him in the future?
I think so.
JB?
I definitely think so. I mean, it's cool. Bash had just a complete badass moment and was like, it is dangerous, but that's what's up. That's what, like, he believes in what he does, and that's cool to see sort of a very adult role that he's taking on. Like, it is dangerous, but, with great, responsibility, there's a lot of danger in that. Like, there's a lot of risks that he's taking.
And it goes back to this point, he doesn't like the politics of it.
Right.
So if his job is to do this and be trustworthy to the king, i.e. his brother, and to fulfill all these tasks, like, he's going to do justice.
He's going to be the hero. Like, he's always the hero.
He is a hero. But, I mean, I think that sort of opens up the door for Kenna to have a role in playing that part that he doesn't like. He doesn't really think about the politics side and the danger, and it's nice that she is there to look out for him. They kind of make a good team.
That is a good point, and he does speak to that, saying, that's not us. Let's not be that. Right. So I think that might help Kenna come over to the side of also maybe being the heiress, and maybe
heiress.
A new role for her. Yeah.
Heroine.
Is that the right word? I don't know.
I think women can be heroes too.
Absolutely.
Let's just go with hero.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of women of power, let's talk about the queen. This lady's she's just always out for herself no matter what.
But she also protects her babies. Now, I know I wasn't here last week, but there was a moment where I thought that when the possession was happening with Caroline the nanny, I was like, oh shoot, she's not the mama. She's not Henry or
right. Yeah, no, I
Francis's
thought
mom.
For a second I agree with you when she said that first line of like, oh, like this is like my son, or I can't believe it. It seemed like she was Francis's mom, I thought, and then we're like, okay.
We find out that it was King. She's possessed. But I like Catherine. I'm always conflicted with her, but she does watch out for her kids. She is a mama bear in certain aspects, but at the same time, she covers her ass as well. And she makes sure she secures her place in life, wherever it may be. It might be further down the line, but she protects herself. And I have to respect that, because she's a woman of power and money and royalty, and she just can't fade off into she just can't go float off onto a glacier.
But is it she has that when her and Narcisse are talking, she says they see the world differently, and so has she just kind of subsided to that idea that she's not going to be able to get out of Francis what she wants, and the best way is just self-preservation?
I think so. I think that's a really good way to put it. I think it's kind of like accepting her losses and moving forward in the best way she can. She's a very smart woman. She knows how to play the game through and through, and I think she realizes they're different than we were. They're not going to do. You can't just strong arm them into doing things, because they are more moral.
And it's a different reign.
It's a different time. Like and it's similar to now. I mean, I think our parents dealt with things a lot differently than we do. So I think it's her just realizing that she's got to adapt to the new rules pretty much, and sort of it's a new game.
Right, and she's learning how to play it. Kind of like in the craps game where is it you play the line or you play the field so you don't lose any money. I feel like has a couple of bets on all to make sure that she's secure because she's smart in that way.
Okay. And I mean, was this her plan all along in the way that it played out with her feeding all the villages and all that, or did it kind of develop? Because she's always been able to see things pretty far in advance, but I feel like this was more of a contingency plan, and she was hoping that Francis would do the right thing, or at least the right thing according to her.
I don't think she saw this one further out.
No.
I don't think this one came as easily because, as we in the first episode with Mary's making decisions too. So now there's two plates spinning at the same time. Where Mary's making decisions on one end, and there was a lot of double dealing going on. There was like triple and quadruple dealing going on in this episode. So it didn't seem as if though she saw it, but she fared well regardless of it.
Right, but yeah, also I think that she's just less involved now and sort of accepting that new role sort of outside of the main event. So I think her risk is a lot lower, and she's able to not quite worry about as many things as she did. I mean, everything was so high stakes, like life and death. Everything's on the line. And now it's more like, oh, well, when an opportunity presents itself, she'll take advantage of it.
Well, if you look at it, the opportunity there with Narcisse, I think they threw out a number of 90%. He controls 90% of the grain, right? Mm-hmm. In all of France. So if she's aligned with him now, officially, she's got a lot of power. What is she going to do with this? Is she going to hold anything over Francis and Mary's head?
We could see a set of fires and the grain could be gone.
See that happen.
You know, the reckoning is coming.
I never know. She's always like this wrench and everything.
Right.
I don't know if she's going to go one way or the other.
She's always going to be somewhat of a villain, I think. But it's interesting to think about what would her motivation be. I mean, she is about to be like a grandma, hopefully. What?
Yeah, but she doesn't even want to be that.
Right, but exactly, what does she want is what I'm thinking about. Knowing that, I mean, we saw Francis and Queen and Mary get the coronation, so they're the throne now. Like, she can't really go back unless she completely sabotages her grandkids. Like, will she do that?
She's done some crafty things to stay.
She's stooped pretty low,
power.
I feel like. But
yeah,
does she want the throne even that bad? Like, to go back?
I think she would like to play the puppet master and have things go her way per se. But every castle has to have a villain or someone stirring the pot a little bit, and she does it so well.
She does. So talking about, we'll talk about Narcisse and all this stuff, but I want to start with specifically Mary and Francis, because to cut ahead at the coronation, right? Francis says this is a new era, one where it's not just crowning the king, it's also crowning the queen, us together. I feel sentiments of this speech have happened pretty much almost every episode. If we join forces, we can be stronger than individuals.
Yes.
When will this lesson stick? And I mean that in a good way.
There's no I in team, Phil. There's no I.
Yeah, and at some point...
There is an I in Francis.
There is.
And oh my goodness. But when that comes to play, someone has to take the back seat and say, okay, I agree with what your plan is. Mine's not that great. Which, when you have two very strong-willed people...
Has Francis ever gotten his way? Like, his original way?
Yes, he left to go get Lola. He was like, all right, I want my baby. He brought Lola. I want my baby.
Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of misunderstandings just because of the lack of communication. But, you gotta... Like, they both want the best thing, and it sucks that they can't often get in touch with each other enough to know what's going to happen. You have to wonder if everything would have played out the same way had she found Francis before speaking with the Germans. Would she be able to convince him? He, I think, was mostly upset because he said directly not to do something, and she did exactly what he said not to do. So, I mean, that moment, I feel like it was sort of a breach of on Mary's end, like going too far with it, because he explicitly said not to do something, and she did. But, her interests were in the greater good, like, this is helping, this is what needs to be done. So her intentions were good. It just...
They are, but I feel like Francis has to understand the caliber of weapon that he is shooting with or handling. When he said to Mary, asking you not to shine is like asking the sun not to shine. Essentially, Mary is going to sometimes do what Mary wants to do. She's going to make solo decisions, which she did. It's another solo decision, but this time it worked out, whereas last time didn't work out quite that well when the whole family was killed and this hater, Narcisse, came back. I do not like him, but we'll get to him. I don't like him. He's just...
does it worry you that in many ways Queen Catherine acted in similar ways where she just did whatever she wanted?
No, because Catherine was a commoner in more ways. Mary is actually a queen in right. Mm-hmm. So I feel like she should be that it's okay for her to make some solo decisions.
Right, but also I feel like Francis really wants the role of being a good king more so than Henry did. I think Henry was just enjoying the fruits of being king without so much the politics and doing like the work of it. And in that situation, Catherine had to sort of step up to take care of everything. I mean, Mary is really smart, so she can handle things, but I think that she just needs to kind of delegate with Francis, like what they can do. I mean, what is her role? How? Mm-hmm. I think they need to work that out more than say Henry and Catherine did, because Henry just would go off with like another young girl, and Catherine would be like, okay, well, we've got problems, so I'm going to take care of this.
And this was a heavy time right now. This is Coronation. He's dealing with the queen. He's dealing with the nobles. He's dealing with famine. He's dealing with his new job. Like, was a very stressful, week for him. Let's just say that.
Well, yeah, and Francis is really trying to be like a man. I mean, that's kind of what this whole thing is, being king, like proving himself and his worth. When other stuff gets taken care of, whether it be Mary or his mom or literally anyone, it sort of reflects badly on his leadership.
So speaking of kind of him, Francis specifically, with the nanny, right, and all the things he's dealing with, you left off the nanny,
right.
Okay, his dealing with his father.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that he hasn't shared, not with Lola, and not yet, at least, with Mary. And again, talking about communication, things like that, he keeps saying he doesn't believe in ghosts, but eventually something's going to give. And
I think that's why he has yet to speak of it to anybody, because he has always been like, he's not a pagan. He doesn't believe in that. So I think he's still coming to terms with like, this is legit. This is real. The nanny is possessed by your dad. Like, come to grips with it.
But what does that mean? Because it's kind of, let's figure out what we know. He doesn't remember any of his sins, but he remembers his death. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't understand why he didn't just ascend.
Are you talking about King Henry?
King Henry.
Okay.
And I guess also he didn't go to hell, so that's so
he's in limbo, it seems.
Yeah.
Is it because Francis killed him?
And that's the only
Is it a lie? Because, I mean, everyone thinks that someone else, the other gentleman who was supposed to be in the armor, killed him. It's the only thing I can think
Montague.
of. Right.
Montague, something like that. But like what, when you're a ghost, right? Your life is unfulfilled.
Right.
So what does he have to fulfill?
What's the unfinished business there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, what do you think? I have no idea. I mean, aside the fact that he wants people to know that his son killed him.
Does he explicitly know that Francis killed him, though?
He was getting to that point when he said, he was working through it when Carolyn was there in the tent with the voodoo guy. Forgive his name, sorry. Don't get mad at me, people. He was going there, and then Francis was like, stop. So I think he does. I'm going to go ahead and say that he knows, because he was saying he's never fought me like that. When he jousts at me, he's usually towards my chest. It was towards my face. Like,
well, I think he thinks something's amiss. I don't think he knows it was Francis. Otherwise, I feel like he would say that right out front.
And he kept saying plots and plans. Like, and I think that has to do with they were sitting out there, the two of them, right before when King Henry was like, I'm going to have to kill you, my son, essentially. I think he knows.
And then, so okay, is the unfinished business killing Francis? Like, what could it possibly be?
That's a good question. I mean, he divulged a lot right before he died. So I'm wondering, like, what beyond that he could just have left unsaid. I mean, maybe it is the relationship with Francis, and sort of how he was with him directly. Because I mean, he said sort of stuff about his life before Francis and Bash, regarding his brother and having killed him. But maybe it is with Francis and Bash, like how that.
Yeah, because as of right now, well, even with Bash, Bash hasn't seen this. Not that he's had interaction with the nanny, you know what I mean. But I'm sure if he needed to, there'd be some sort of way that it would happen. There's been no interaction with the Queen, meaning Catherine, not Mary.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So right now, the fact that it's so specific to Francis indicates something, because you know what I mean. You could see how he had unfinished business with whether it's Bash or Catherine, even Mary. She could. Can I get a visit?
Oh Lord, have mercy.
There's unfinished business there.
What was it? The black pea or whatever that he had going on before he died?
Yeah, he had some weird things going on.
Oh, I hope they don't have any business. Leave Kenna and Bash alone, okay?
So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. How
it unfolds. Maybe it'll be episode 5 or 6.
I think it's going to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
Good.
I think we'll get pieces. I mean, it's super creepy.
Yes,
it's been super slow to kind of continue.
It has been, but I'm happy that the king is alive. He's alive. He's alive. I told you. I predicted that.
You'll never get to see King Henry in his DILF form. You'll just see this woman.
As long as I have a little morsel of him still being a part of us, I'll take it.
Okay.
So I predicted that too last week, by the way. He'd be back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I think you and Keaton were both like wishful thinking, like putting that in.
I'm glad you accept the possession of it.
Thanks, CW.
All right, so the issue at hand mainly of this week's episode, grain.
Yeah, I gotta get that grain, man.
They like their carbohydrates, huh?
They do, well.
Jeez.
Hey, that's the bottom of the food pyramid. That's the reason why they made it the bottom of the food pyramid, because it's the easiest to make. Mm-hmm.
Plus, bread is delicious. I don't know if you guys have had a sandwich in a while. Bomb. Good stuff.
So random.
I'm a fan of
You're
bread.
a sandwich guy?
I went to a place called All About the Bread today. Like, I mean, no relation because I didn't know this episode was coming up, but it applies.
What did you learn?
Bread is delicious. Still.
I feel like you knew that beforehand.
Even today.
Are you a sourdough or a wheat?
Favorite is Dutch Crunch. I usually go wheat because it's a little bit more nutritious.
They don't have pumpernickel a lot. I like
Dutch Crunch
pumpernickel.
for sure.
I thought it was humpernickel.
Humpernickel?
Oh, really?
I'm totally kidding. I just like to say it.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be a great name for bread.
Right? See? We digress. Sorry.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Let us know your favorite bread.
Yeah.
In the comments below.
Yeah.
What you would do, or just what you would do with grain. Why not?
There's that.
Hopefully there's no gluten-free people because they would still be starving.
No, we're all over. We've got, matter of fact, you guys, we will be shouting some of you out. We got people. We're worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
We got some gluten-free people?
Yeah.
All right. Good
And
for
some
them.
non-gluten.
Yeah. Would they be like, whatever, no grain, not a problem?
I give Francis credit for going behind Narcissus' back and trying to figure out alternate ways to get grain.
Me too. I think Narcisse should have been killed last week.
Yeah.
When there's a problem, this is like an old school gangster. When there's a threat, end it. You dead it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's Catherine's
Shoot
way.
first,
yes.
Ask questions later.
Seriously, because he is... I don't like it. He's disrespectful. He was acting like he was the king, like he was running stuff. No, at the end, when he was like, Your Majesties, shout out to Beyonce, I was like, bow down. Like, I didn't like him.
He said it with such disdain.
He should have been taken care of long time ago.
And, shoot, I had a point, now I lost.
I mean, he's a pretty powerful guy, though, so I think that would trickle down more than just... I don't think you can just check the box off.
They should have ratted him out to the church.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he knows a lot of peeps. I think like things would have.
Can't just slip on a banana peel one night.
Exactly.
He can't go out like his son Edward.
No, I mean, I think that he controls a lot more, which we'll see in later episodes, like why they need to keep him around.
I think they need to report him to the church and let him know that he's been stealing from the church and the people, and he's been killing people.
True. I mean, he's a shady guy.
You know,
but
he's
I
been
think
playing
he's also
Francis.
a powerful shady guy. So I think if he was just went missing, you know, things he's got like contingency plans or something. Up until now, we only knew that he controls most of the food. You know, what else does he have in hand? I mean, he's intimidating all the other nobles and stuff. Like, there must be some other power that he has beyond just crops.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, he did have a good excuse about his philosophy on, like, simple laziness.
Yeah, he's like,
if nothing else, it was very well articulated.
It was comical.
So I have to give him credit where credit is due.
Just excuses. Narcisse.
But he knows everything that's going on, and obviously Francis's plan. It was never gonna get. I don't know how he's gonna pull it off without Narcisse knowing. Because remember, he tells him, like, you're protected by the king.
Right.
Clearly not. Should have had some guards. Anything.
Yeah, I don't know. His stretch seems to be far and wide, and that's why he needs to be taken out. Nostradamus needs to come back and make him an elixir.
He's not afraid to get his hands dirty by doing that, you know what I mean? He just didn't care. The fact that he was able to look that guy in the eye and said, hey, I've lost a son. You don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, Francis, he hasn't gotten his hands dirty yet. And Bash, to a degree, that's why he's got to go.
Bash has gotten his hands really dirty.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember the clip?
Bash was, like, killing two people, yeah.
And he speaks to that. Narcisse says that he's going to have to learn what it's like, that Francis is going to have to learn what it's like to be a king through time. He tells that to Catherine, I think. Yeah. In this episode. So he's still like, I mean, essentially, yeah, he's still a kid. Like, he doesn't know what it's like. He doesn't have the experience yet.
But he should employ Bash for these things.
Just a little wet work, for sure. I mean, I think it's going to be impossible for them to be completely clean and be king and queen. Because, I mean, they're just... Stuff's gotta, like... stuff happens, and, you know, someone's gotta clean it up. I think there's no way to get out, like, perfectly unscathed. And
that is politics. It's wheeling and dealing. It's backbiting. It's cutthroat. There's killing. They are going to have to
Right, I mean, yeah, Mary has already killed people.
So let me, in terms of... Queen Catherine has that line that says, you know, you're doing this for revenge, but you're not going to be satisfied because you're never going to get it. Mm-hmm. Is that the case, or can he actually, like, had kind of things gone his way, whatever that fully may have been, could he have been satisfied and just kind of let it go at one point? Certainly at this point, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's true that he's not going to be satisfied with anything. I mean, you can't bring a son back, so there's no...
You can make another one.
True. But I mean, like, when you lose someone... Yeah.
Sometimes that's equally fun.
Well, where's the Mrs. Narcisse?
I don't know.
He's a pretty rotten dude. I don't know if. Well, I mean, if he really wanted to, I guess he could. But you can't replace.
No, I get it.
What happened to the blonde girl in the cage in the first episode?
The girl with the plague.
Yeah. We don't know. She's unknown. Okay. I thought maybe he would take her as his.
Yeah, just give me the plague girl. She's fine, right?
Well, she might be
Feeling
cured.
better.
She's in the Undertaker's little book, Deceased, Unknown.
No, I mean
girl.
he's a rich noble. I'm sure he can find someone.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
I'm sure he's doing fine with the ladies.
I'm sure, as he's a thief. He's rude. He thinks he's the king. So I'm sure he could summon some nice, what were they called? Ladies of the V? What did Catherine's old court used to? Catherine, the ladies of the V.
Ladies of the night?
But no.
Ladies of
the vagina ladies that Catherine used to have.
That's their official
the flying
term.
V's. The flying, wasn't it the flying V's?
I don't remember them being called that. All right. Learn something.
No, I think Narcisse was really just trying to keep. He got greedy, I think, and he was just trying to get everything he could. Being blinded by this motive of get revenge, where there wasn't really an end goal. It was just get back at them.
Just to do it.
So now I think he's sort of hit a wall where it's like, okay, I'm not making progress. Things are really turning. Like the tables have turned a bit, and it's coming back at me. I gotta recoup and adjust my approach a little bit.
So in terms of he himself is a big enemy, right? And I think he's gonna stay around for a while.
He's villain number one right now.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm curious whether or not we're gonna see Herr Schuler around, because that is a huge alliance. Basically, I mean, to be more or less kind of be backed by Germany at this point, that's huge.
That's major. And politically, religiously,
we're basically reshaping France.
Yeah,
I like it.
But are we going to see it, or was that just the short-term gain to get grains?
See, I think that Narcisse might do a deal with Catherine. We saw them at the end really kind of talking with each other about what the grain means and how she's going to be remembered and everything that a new heir would mean for her. Maybe they strike a deal and figure out some common goal that they can work towards.
I think we're going to see more from the German Duke, because I think there might be some underlining anger about his prisoners.
We didn't see him did we see him after once he got his prisoners, or no?
I don't think so.
We didn't see
we
him
just saw
after.
the prisoners come. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I really want to see more of that side, because I just think it's so interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a new side. We a new alliance. We haven't. I don't think in any time during the first season Germany was even mentioned.
No.
Not at all.
No.
So
I like how he just randomly comes.
It's like,
he came
Germany.
for his prisoners.
Germany's
He didn't
here.
come for the coronation. He came to set his people free because he felt like, the king put him away wrongly.
Which serves nicely, again, as Francis kind of juggling the ghost of his father,
Right.
literally. It's nice to know that, in the real world, there are remnants of the ghost. The torture chambers and all that.
Right. Ooh.
That was
Yes, the relics. That was some pretty gnarly equipment, like the knee crusher, and then there's a trap of some kind, and the claw thing.
That was intense.
It was.
And I could see Henry having those used.
Absolutely. Well, for his own pleasures, or
Yeah, maybe towards the end with that. What was her name? The Queen of the Pea or whatever. The Queen for a Day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, that
Penelope.
she found the bean?
Yeah.
No,
Queen of the Bean. The Bean.
Bean.
Queen.
The bean, yes.
Yeah,
Queen of
yeah.
the bean.
Could you imagine him being like, guards, can you bring
Yeah, just
from the prison, just bring that over? Here, I made a list.
Yeah. Just I drew a picture. It's this mask and a leather zipper mouth.
That's hilarious.
Don't worry about it. Just it's
Anyway,
I'm talking about my cutie pie now.
Yeah, let's talk about your cutie pie.
Condi. He's so cute.
Him and his whore.
She was weird.
Yeah, because of the eyes or what?
Because the gentleman, the guard that wasn't on watch, who was being seduced by her, was like, she kept her eyes open the whole time. That's weird.
That's a little weird. That is a little weird. And the whole time, probably not even blinking. Just
that means he was looking at her half the time at least.
Yes. I'm not touching
you check back every now.
I put a little heart next to his name. He's cute, and he seems to be innocent, and I like that he told the truth when he was confronted about the prisoners and that he was trying to use them as ransom.
I mean, he was still doing that, though. He still took people as ransom.
Took responsibility for it, which you don't see a lot in court. Usually people are wheeling and dealing and lying.
True. He's a straight shooter, and I do respect him for that. But still,
Mary lied to him. How do you guys feel about Mary lying to him? Because she said, this was all the king's decision, even though it was clearly not. It was all Mary.
She's gonna be telling more lies. She's gonna be lying a whole lot. They have to come to grips with that.
Well, what do you think about Lewis in love with a married woman who has kids?
Was he in love?
He said it was his lady friend.
Yeah,
his lady friend, but was he in love?
He said it was his lover.
Okay, there's the look.
And being in
there
love
was
is
the
different.
look. He gave the look.
He said lover. There, you can have love for somebody. You can be in love.
But I mean, the whole kidnapping thing all started because something happened with the.
Yeah, you don't just do something for a woman. As
I don't
a guy.
think he was in love.
I think
he's a young
life
prince.
lessons.
I think he was.
Men don't just do something for women.
That's true. That speaks the truth. Well, yeah, I think that he.
Sean, would you agree with this?
I would say that what strikes a chord with me is lover actually can mean friend. In Shakespearean language, they often use
go on, get out of here with that crap. Look at Sean trying to be politically correct.
Come on.
Sean is our engineer for tonight, by the way, for those of you wondering.
Thanks, Sean.
Anyway.
Well, he's still cute anyways. I'm glad he's at court this season.
Fair enough. Well, he kind of saves the day.
He does.
Is he? He's kind of taking a liking to Mary.
Oh, is that a predict? Ooh.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just see it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think we established that his lover, I guess, which could mean friend, Sean, but I don't think it does. I think it means more than friend. I think they like each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think they established that relationship is done. Like, she went back to her husband safely because of everything, and she has kids, so he has let that ship sail, as it were. So that definitely opens up the door for something with Mary, or maybe
just because of the way he said, don't worry, you'll get a child soon.
Oh yeah.
While he was mounted on his horse.
On it.
Yeah. Just one of those things. I don't know. And Mary's known for indiscretions of her own. With the love triangle of last season.
Oh, she was a baby. She's a queen now.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It just also wouldn't surprise me if it did.
If she goes backwards with the love triangle, I'm gonna.
All right. So any other stray observations of the episode that perhaps that weren't big storylines or anything like that? Just any favorite moments. Scenes?
But of course the fashion. I know you guys aren't too keen on it, but ladies, and some gentlemen, obviously. The red ensemble, when she came in, there was a lot of sheer illusion going on tonight. The first outfit was the red with the sheer. You guys have to get along and go with me because Keaton's not here.
We're just gonna
beautiful.
You're the resident.
And then that black with you saw it was like half giving you a little shoulder sexy right there. Beautiful.
This was on who?
Mary, Queen Mary. She and the ladies look well too, but Mary was giving us so much fashion. Thank you, CW Wardrobe. The star earrings, the diamond, white gold ones at the end, beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it. I noticed that.
Nice. So they did good?
They did amazing. Again,
nice.
they always knock it out of the park.
I did notice they were outside, right? Because the whole kind of opening took place outside at the fair or whatever. And then we cut to inside, and Mary and Frances have a different outfit after we just left them. So I was like, ooh, that is like them just to change.
Yes.
Outfit change.
Yes, wardrobe change.
Hey, when you're royalty,
You got
it's endless.
Yeah, every 30 minutes you need another wardrobe.
Oh, please, yes.
That's a rule.
I mean, I actually did notice the king's like get up when he was being crowned. Coronated, exactly. He was like basically in like lion's fur like robe, which was pretty baller, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate how like the sign of like power is just more clothes and like just trying to drag yourself over.
Like 20 pounds
what
of
else
clothing.
can we get? Kill some more animals. Let's get the rare
All right.
stuff.
Nothing else?
No, sir.
All right, so that wraps that episode.
Predictions?
Well, no. We're gonna do for the
it's
first
castle
time
time.
ever. We're gonna do a special segment. Let us know what you guys think of it. Maybe we'll kind of do. Part of it's tough, you know, due to time, where we always spend so much time talking about the episode that we don't necessarily have time to even do a special segment. But maybe we
In proximity, not close.
yeah. Maybe we can do something. If you guys like this, we'll try to do research. We'll put it on Keaton because she's the research whore, and she'll present something every week that she finds. This week we have nothing related to France or Germany or Scotland or England, but hey, Slovakia.
Hey,
Next bet. It's the next one.
This is the Orava Castle.
Okay.
There's a cool picture of it on the little page here. It's the most visited castle in Slovakia. It's also the only. But if you guys know anything about World War I and especially World War II, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they invaded Poland, but then they also came down through Czechoslovakia.
Right.
All like the monuments and castles got demolished, pretty much.
Oh,
This was the only one not to get touched.
What?
nice.
Part of it is, I think, it's in some weird thing they might have appreciated in some sort of weird fashion, because this castle is just literally known for torture.
Really?
I swear
Do
to
they
God,
have
this
knee
whole-
crushers?
You tour it, right, and there's 3 different tiers, and what I loved about the castle is it's just so big, right, and you go through it and they're like, this is where they hung people. This is where they threw them down the well. This is where they stretched them out. This is where they did this. And you just kind of go through this entire thing, and you're like, wow, they had a lot of ways of torturing people everywhere you went.
Mercy.
So, yeah.
That's so cool.
If you guys ever visit Europe, check it out. Here's a couple of pictures on the inside.
Yeah, and
If
shout
you
out
can
to
kinda
everybody that's
see it.
listening
that's
in Europe
awesome.
and Czechoslovakia. That's dope.
So that's where I went. I literally, not that you guys care.
We
maybe you
care.
do.
Oh, absolutely.
I literally, they were like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know, maybe visit some caves and some castles. And so then everybody I went with, their mission was like, all right, a cave and a castle. I'm like, all right, I don't need to see 800 of these things. Just want to see one.
Just 1 or 2 would suffice.
So-
We got it. I checked it off the list. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But this was the coolest one.
So let's relate it to Reign. Did any of the castles look like the set or court?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of go through it, and I don't know, what's tough is, like, it's literally, at least the way they lead you, obviously, it's very one-directional, and you kind of go around, and you're just like, how do people just, like, kind of live in this place?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What if you want to just go to a random room? How do you, like, not go through, like, Fahnia's bedroom to get to JB's bedroom?
Really?
Like,
Okay.
what the hell's going on?
Interesting. Yeah. So more doors. They should
Yeah.
have. Do people live there now? Like,
No, these are all museums,
That's so cool.
But yeah, it's interesting because you have the squares and things like that.
Right.
And again, this is so if we're watching Reign, everything's kind of happening in the castle. But then we also in Reign we get to go out of the castle, so you kind of see how that connection is making place.
That's cool, Phil.
Yeah,
I'm jelly.
we'll do a set visit to Reign maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll try to
for
get that.
sure.
We'll get some
Private jet.
Just as long as you guys have passports, because it's in Canada.
Got mine.
Nice. Yeah. Me
There
too.
we go. All right,
get the
predictions,
G6
because we
ready.
gotta start wrapping up.
Woo, predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
We have a baby.
We have a baby. A royal baby.
Do we have a baby?
I think we
Who's
do.
the baby?
Who the baby daddy?
I think it's Francis and Mary.
Yeah.
I think so too.
But you know, a lot of people will be out for this baby, especially Queen Catherine.
Yes. That's the main prediction I have for her linking up with Narcisse. I mean, it seems like the only thing she cares about really is her legacy. So to get more out of that, she sort of has to control the whole heiress situation with Mary.
I mean, here's what could literally happen. And part of it, I don't know history. Part of it, I don't think they care about history.
Right.
But where Mary was sent off for protection, what if this kid has to be sent off elsewhere for protection?
Ooh.
And then he's got a Mary situation of his own.
Here's the thing. There's got to be an heir to the throne. So.
What if there isn't? It's just Robert.
It's just
Robbie.
Robert. Yeah, and I
Robbie.
don't know how Catherine would feel about that, but that's interesting. My prediction is that someone else would be sent away, and that would be Lola and Robert. I think they're going to be sent to the chateau.
Okay, well that's good for them.
Yeah, and my other prediction is that we're going to see more of Miss Lady. Is it Dautens?
Which one? Barnett.
The green blue-eyed gal.
Ooh. Okay.
I think we're going to see more of the lover. Because it was weird. Like, some people just naturally have two different eye colors, but they focused it on that and the fact that the gentleman said that her eyes were open the whole time. I feel like if they didn't mention it, then it would just be a moot point. But then the fact that they mentioned her eyes and that they were open the whole time.
Was it like Jafar's staff in Aladdin?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
staring
she's Ken to
you in the
Nostradamus. I don't know.
The Cobra eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more of Cousin Lewis. I think because he basically has nowhere to go. It seems. I mean, I don't know his whole story, but it seems like, you know, he's got time to stay. He gave up his
nothing to
his
do.
lady friend.
Yeah.
So you know, he's sticking around for the thrills.
Yeah, and I'm liking that we're kind of getting new characters involved in a lot of this. You know, sure, some of our other characters are kind of taking a step back, but they'll be back.
Right. I mean, it keeps the story fresh for sure. I mean, the same storylines of Greer and Lath, like that whole thing was so one note. I mean, it's interesting because it's definitely like there's a lot of drama there, and it's. But I think they've already established that. They've sort of checked that off. Now we're into new characters, which is exciting.
So, thus wraps episode 4 for the after show. In the meantime, where can people find you, Fahnia?
Well, they can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas. That's FAHNIATHOMAS.
Nice.
JB.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JB_Zimmernan.
And, of course, follow us here on AfterBuzz TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let us know what you guys think. Real quick. Shout-outs
to Yayok at Maria Divolos. So forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, ladies, and Eve. And she told me she pronounces it Royal Neg Bonaire. And shout out to MLove26789 and Anne Bolen. Again, ladies, forgive me if I mispronounced your name. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in and commenting. Keep doing it. We appreciate it. We need it.
And you can follow Keaton at, what is it?
Keaton. Shame on us. We'll let you know. But
why can't it just be her name?
I also want to put out there, we need to get #Flight for Kenna to come out on the show because Phil has been dying for her to come and be a guest. Help us out, guys. We're trying to get Kenna on the after show for Phil.
J. Stacy in studio.
#Kenna on AfterBuzz.
Anyway, we'll see you guys for episode 5 next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. I'm at episode 4.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.